Hello, everyone, and welcome to an incredibly special Monday live video. And fair warning, this is not live. We are currently pre-recording this on Sunday. So this is a day beforehand. And I have a gift for all of you today. It is going to be probably the most next level gift I could ever give you. Um, if any of you know who Bashar is, Daryl Anka, who channels an Essassani being named Bashar, I have like the new Bashar for you today. And he doesn't just channel one being, he is a trans channeler for, I believe, a collective of around 40 different, very high vibrational extraterrestrial beings and non-physical beings. And I've personally had a session with him and this collective and had, I was in tears multiple times. I mean, I felt all of the feels. I've done my own checks and balances. This guy is not only so legit, but he's here to really help the world. So I will sort of bring him on, introduce him. But there's a couple things that I want to say about today. Today is an activation. This is not information. This is an activation. And when I say activation, I'm talking an activation at the core of your being. He will bring through different beings, channel light language, and go deep. Today, a couple of the intentions that I have that really felt right, we're going to really sort of try and open up, activate, align your soul mission. We're going to try and release any fears, anything that's holding you back. Also, a lot of integration into the highest timeline. Um, and so much else. So really, this session is here to bring you spiritual tools, and it's a call to specific soul aspects. Um, I will say, because this is an activation, because this is such a public forum, by staying through to watch the rest of this video, you are giving your permission for this activation. And for me, spiritual morality is so, so important. And so I need to be able to just put that on the line, okay? This is going to be intense and you're going to feel all the feels from this. If you do not want an activation, if this is not something you're interested in, then this is a good video to skip, okay? If you're looking for answers, if you're looking for healing, if you're looking for a deep soul rebirth at this time, then this is going to be for you in so many ways. And I highly encourage you to share this video as well to others you think this is going to help. It is intense, so please, fair warning. I will also mention that after I had my one-on-one session with Ken and the collective, there was probably 3 to 5 days where I felt sort of an emotional void. And the reason why I felt that way is because we did such a deep soul clearing. A lot of the deep past life traumas I had experienced were gone. And all of a sudden, there was a lot of rebuilding that I needed to do within myself. Okay. So I just wanted to let you know that there could be potential symptoms afterwards as well. So please just keep that in mind. And let's go ahead and bring on Ken and his team and let's just like chat with him before we do the activation so that all of you get a feel for who he is. Um, yeah, once again, your minds will be blown. Hello, Ken.
Hi, thank you for that wonderful introduction. I'm touched. Very,
Yeah,
very touched.
absolutely. No, I mean seriously, I don't usually get my mind blown too often, but you are a mind-blowing kind of individual. I can't even call you a human. So if you could just give people a little sort of Cliff Notes version of who you are and how you stepped into this gift that you have.
Sure, sure. I'll give you the cliff notes, right? So before everything happened to me, I was an entrepreneur. I built three cybersecurity companies. I was that digital guy, the technical guy, that. And then through a process of, let's say, intense stress, I had an experience, a transformational experience. This happened in 2018. It wasn't an experience where all of a sudden I was instantly healed and all these wonderful magical things happened. It was kind of a very slow drip, drip, drip awakening to who I am. So, who am I? Right? So, I am what you would determine or you might call a soul infused walk in.
Mhm.
So Ken's here. Ken's always here. But I have other divine beings that are also merged with my consciousness in my physical body. And as you mentioned, roughly 40. Yeah, the number keeps growing, right? And these are ascended masters. These are archangels. These, I have four oversouls. I also have Christed ETs. So for all your audience who are just really into this galactic beauty, right? The Christed ETs are like ascended masters, but in their version, right? And they are the original lineage of their species. So they hold that true divine concept, if you will. So this is my team. I am what could be described as an omni consciousness stream of divine intelligence. So I'm kind of tapped into everything, and information through me, it flows instantly.
Mhm.
All right. Now, the other thing is I'm also an embodiment of the great divine director. Now, I won't get into him, but I will tell you, for all you folks out there, the human body actually can't hold a full embodiment of a soul of the divine realm. So it's like a spark, and all of these are sparks that kind of flow through me. Now, the reason I have such a big team, because I'm here for billions of people. I'm literally here over the next 30 years to evolve the human vessel, to expand our soul, to bring us into our human alignment with all these galactic beauty things are out there. I will tell your audience, I have no spiritual background. I have no religion. I have no modality. And as my team says, when I'm here, I'm kind of just in the now. I kind of pop out. They come to the front of the bus and they start driving, and then they bring the activations in. Another way to look at what I do is I'm like heavy machinery. I'm going to come in and I'm going to pull in all of that trauma out. I'm going to pull in all of these codes that you need. And the beauty of the way this team operates is everyone gets exactly what they need. So mechanically how it works is your team or your audience's team are actually working through my team. So they're like, hey, here's the codes that we need Sally to have, right? And they'll push it over through my team, and it comes down through the hollow bone. I have access to, as they say, all the codes. And by doing this, it takes a human to activate a human. I suppose I'm human. But you're gonna feel some amazing things today. And ultimately, I have the gift to literally shift and transform your energy field in real time. And this is what's going to happen on the call.
hmm I also want to add too, just from my own experience with you and the collective and what you do, which was once again just so incredible. Like I'm clairvoyant, so I see things, right? And I know a lot of people who channel light language, but the majority of the people who channel light language have no idea what they're saying in light language. So what I find so cool about what you can do is you're bringing in these aspects, you're bringing in the light language, you're bringing in the visuals, and you're fully consciously aware of everything that you're doing and bringing in. So it's so much fun to just watch you in your magic and do what you do and be so fully consciously aware of everything that is going on. Um, I just think that that's like extra special. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the behind the scenes thing is why they're sitting here. There's thousands of light languages that come through me, right? So while I'm doing that, I'm actually checking my laundry. And I'm wondering what I'm doing later on the evening. So while we're doing all that, it's kind of cool.
Yeah, yeah. I know, I get it because I work in the quantum field too, and it's hard to describe, but it's very cool. Okay, well, that was a great intro. And yeah, I think that we should just kind of get right into the activations and the healings. I do want to mention for everyone out there, once again, this is your last opportunity to hop off before you get the activations. You're giving us permission to do this. So can you do this? So just to sort of clarify what you do for people. So obviously we're doing this on my platform for my community. Like what a gift. Thank you so much for doing this to the community and for the community. And then on your own, so do you offer like one-on-one sessions typically, and you do like sort of a group, you do workshops and stuff as well, right?
I do. So I don't do workshops in the sense of the traditional term of workshops, and I don't do training. The
Yeah,
team is here to come in and do the work
work.
for you. Yeah, they're here to. Everything I do is rapid, it's quick. I do 30-minute one sessions. I do 1 hour one-on-one sessions. Do not book an hour with me.
Yeah.
You do not need an hour with me. 30 minutes, bring your really long list of everything that you need touched.
Hmm.
But I do Wednesday group evenings. Every Wednesday I do something. I do events every month, and we can talk a little bit about that in the end. But
Yeah, we
yeah,
will.
absolutely. And then I've got all the stuff recorded if you want the old stuff too.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness. I'm sure everyone wants everything. So, okay, good. I just wanted to sort of cover what you offer as well. And I agree. Like, I think we got through my very lengthy list in like, yeah, 30 minutes or less. So that was, you work fast. And we've got a pretty hefty list today for the community. So
Yeah,
I'm excited. And I'm just gonna like preface this list that I'm gonna go into, and I just want to say like it's for the highest good of all involved. We both set that intention. We both did our shielding. We both did our protection. So I just wanted to put that out there. We're both very like spiritually moral, and I just had to put that out to the group as well. So let's go ahead and start by clearing traumas that are getting in the way of our soul mission at this time. So please clear any and all childhood traumas, ancestral traumas, past life traumas, and alternate reality trauma bleedovers for the highest good of all involved.
absolutely. So there's a couple things I want to mention first. One, take an inventory of how your body feels right now.
Yeah.
Your energy levels and your emotions. You're going to feel this shift. And it's really interesting from a perspective to say, ooh, how did I feel 10 minutes ago? So the other thing, again, as a reminder, you can opt out of anything being provided. This is important. Over the coming days, go easy on yourself.
Mhm.
This is just the preamble because this is heavy work. Ground, spend time in nature, do the saltwater absence, whatever it is for you to let it go. Right? Self care is going to be important. Now, one of the things I do like to suggest: do this with your eyes closed, but you don't have to. And the reason I say that is some of us get these amazing visualizations from our team, right? So visualize a nice guy or floating out in space, but do eyes wide open. It's always going to be the same. I'm just always mesmerized by the reports of I saw this and I saw that. And again, your team is working through my team. You're going to get what you need exactly. Okay, so a couple of pre-work. One, if you have a process of shielding or bubbling yourself, I'd like you to do that now. My team's also going to do that for you. This is just standard practice anytime you're in a group setting. Well, anytime you're getting any work done on you. So go ahead and just kind of bubble yourself, and here we go with me as well. Perfect. Just basic stuff. Now, the very next thing we do is we're just going to ground you. Really quick visualization, and that is the last thing you'll have to do the rest of the session here. So please visualize tree roots growing from the bottom of your heart. Allow these tree roots to grow down your torso and down each of your legs, past your knees, past your ankles, and into Mother Earth. Allow them to grow further down and down and down until you see the core of the earth. And when you see her, I want you to take those tree roots and wrap them counterclockwise 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. And just pull them snug with love. Now, we're going to get into the first activation here, which is clearing any of the childhood traumas, the ancestral traumas, the past life traumas, the alternate reality stuff. So I see the trauma in your energy fields, right? Especially with the one-on-one sessions, right? But when we have this trauma stored in our fields, it's resistance, right? It's like having the brakes slightly depressed in your car all the time, and it doesn't allow you to accelerate as fast as you like, right? The idea of the ascension topic, right? So this clearing is going to release that stored trauma that's ready to be released. Again, the childhood, the ancestral, the past life, the current life. right? And often what I see is energy bleed over some other realities that we exist in now. Sometimes that trauma can come in. So this again might be an emotional roller coaster for the next couple days. If you find yourself in the void, as Elizabeth said, allow it to happen. You're not going to know exactly why you feel like this. This is just the release happening. And finally, trauma does cause a lot of the physical conditions in the body. You may notice these also shifting in your world. And here we go. Shaleria mamaleria retia kilelio kileshkalaria lere kalara maria de riata korea paria shikilere kelere korea kaparigo shikilere kalabari godia barigonia barigonia shikilere gadiar gadiar aroto shikilere gadiar shikilere barigo shikilere maloria malero ke dios shikilere barigo shikilere kalabaro retia ratoro shikorio kilara aroti gadiar shikilere gadiar ganeti shikilere shikilere kaparigo shikodia mama mayo no ya na yo no ni nitio shikolala le de ande do ya nala balere kariete de do shikidori reto shali alarma mayani and no cadino chinete reticadia shikika chapa papia to the chikati amato never get skidika park skidia chikora parere tariaro perito to score to the skidia the cario scoria mama valeria rote rienichi skidia but you do skilia valeria and not dayo to the skidia sco to the padita kidi chini the date di ribadiata the to scurio to caria shali lo mamma mia non mandalu che mania riete reatoria oloria rischele la rodia rischele che riata mamma mia non mania to chile che ria oni che che aro per io schidische dore per io schidori che bidi che ori mamma per io taka shataio no mamma che ala roto odiata ada no ne mamma pa che ne ta cari ne che do schuro curana taio no ti ma pa valiati che do che dici che diata ti ta to io tara scarrota ya ma pariati di tutti di tutti e tati che dia ta caria all'area andando moio non amando non scuro torri raro tiene tata chikria Bruschiette tattico tutti a papaya, schilere calare dia, calore mabriano, non manini, non riganiando con gli andari, scalare che viene da rotare, reta, reacoria, shoro, toria, mamma male, renata da doto, ci di a capapio tu, scuro, toria, crati, leria, nare, roto, scalia, mamma malaria, natatario, totoio, toria, riaroco, shuria, mamma mia, nataria, chi, che leria, tisci, lere, calare, aroco, scoria, mamma malaria, rotoria tiaka soto ya nana nya mama ya nakare ke no to ya takare ke to to ya pati ki tia ke takare ke tatka ke tika to to no to ya mabati ne ta dia tia sokore na rearo to rikili riaro ku shati no mama ya ni ta papa ya na to ko to shekia mo do ya pa na ko ma pa no ta na to ya na te de te de to ramos there korea rende korea kili riaro taria kili riaro to ria taria skariat ko jo skirina pa ono da na no da maria riaro tiaka shataro to te patita to te takatia skrearo ti re ko no mamiata skoria ma pariori ta skoria ko riaro taria de ta to te skoria paria ti koria ma palero ko skoria ne te de skoria no kale la mamalare no te ya nama me no da daria no skoria ke skrearo to real higher koria ma palere ke lo skirota mama pa roto reti to te chikidia to ko ma roto to caria scrivere meglio che c'hanno col motivo di che ghiaccio scurrata capriato riete de griata te schiduc di barconiata caria creato cariaro torro scriata cariata scriata cacca rebuild per scoria ma pali ariende tiria nash coria naria taro di te caria na car ana ania do te capa caria kire alternate realities Koreashka, Koreama Mamala, Anaka Aryoshko Doya. Okay, everyone, just kind of take a breath. We want to move into the next one, Doyo. All right.
Wow. I mean, visually, I like immediately I saw this almost like this like wave of energy hitting me, and then it went back through me, like back through the ancestral lines. I saw a couple of like the visuals of the beings that you were bringing through. Like it felt like it was such an ancient, like a super ancient, like I don't want to call them like an Akashic record clearer, but like it just felt like this like very ancient Akashic being. And then right at the end, I felt like it was like being pulled up, like all the energy was being pulled up. And then started feeling really lightheaded. And that's why we ground so much. That's why we anchor into the earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that felt really good. Thank you so much for that. So let's move right along. Let's go into strengthening our sense of self-worth and value, because I know so many of us struggle with that. So if you could just sort of get in there and give us that extra spark of, yes, we're here for a reason, and just a little bit more value within ourselves, like filling that void now with the strength and the value.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So when I look at the self-worth, right, I see this as programming. Programming, everything, we can use whatever words we want, but programming really is just energy, right? And this programming comes from this life. It comes from our environment, right? It comes from social experiences, friends and family, and all these things, right? It's not always in our alignment as we begin to grow and expand. There is a purpose for it at some point, right? So we're going to remove this programming,
Mhm.
this low self-worth, these things that keep us from really stepping into our own authenticity, our own power. But there's a caveat. We're going to remove the resistance, the programming. But it's up to you to step into your power,
Mm,
to step in your authenticity, because we're going to remove the old, but you need to create your new you. But it's going to be so much easier. It's like, oh, I can show up now. And so this is you creating that. So I want everyone to know there's a little bit of work to do in your own world on this. But let's get rid of that stuff that keeps you from actually showing up. And I'm ready when you are. Here we go. Shiliatea kilaria na korea ka ayeniako. Korea la lerea aro korea kila atiatoria karia kiloria ki. Korea shaka. Shalala malaria ria tia le roku shakalalia de caleno moya ne caleria ria to yanataya naria tia ria tia shakare ne taria te dini to ya paria shakoria no calere mabale calerio ne to chinia te calaba baler colero calera ne ne scoria corioria ti core ma papka shakorio che ne taia ne skinio to corionoske ne taria naro to dodoske naria calaria ne to gochkeria natia nata de to chikia te calia dialogue di sia shakaler mamabale reti riaro atoria kilo emotion no dia mabali riaro atoria karia sia ta ka yeshko dokshgo do shkediana alario noto yene chkeria ta karo atoria koreanati nishkileri rieto kodia mapakari kilo koria shukuro to dia papaya na mama ani no ni aka ayeshi to choko shoto chkelele la kalia kalaria rotoria karia ki koria noto yanari ana chko koria mapapari kalaria nishiria Shalaria Shakaria Mamambaliere Naruto. So that was a quicker one. And they actually went through the cellular memories in the body to pull out not only the programming in the brain, but the program that's stored in the cellular structure. So I thought that was fun. That was like a little bonus.
That was really cool because visually, first of all, I felt actually quite nauseous because it felt like a very like solar plexus oriented. But I
Mm-hmm.
think maybe that's where I personally hold my like value system and like that programming. And then like I just felt like stuff being pulled out. And then it's funny that you say cellular structure because then I felt like almost like a scanning of my being and it being like almost like this old program being pulled out of different like parts that I was storing it in. Obviously, everyone's going to have their own experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was incredible. Thank you. Okay, so I kind of intuitively feel like we could probably skip the next one about fear programming. What do you
Okay.
feel? Because
So,
I kind of feel like we just removed the traumas and the self-worth stuff. What do you
well,
feel?
this is a little different, and let's
Okay.
just talk about it. I'm
Yeah, let's
happy to
talk about
skip
it.
it.
Yep.
So the way I see this, because I kind of tapped into it just before for the call,
Mhm.
right? And we talk about programming. We talk about programming in our field, and when we talk about the collective stuff that's happening out in the world. Now, I've been tapped out of the world for almost 4 years now. Like I have no idea what's going on down the street or across the road. Zip zero zilch. But I know we're being constantly bombarded with this information, which triggers us, which creates this opinion, this judgment, this reaction. These are what I call the fear implants, the frequency implants in our field, and it's by design. It's designed to feed into that collective fear. Let's just keep that whole momentum thing going, right? So what this is doing, and I'm going to leave it up to you to determine what we want to do here. But what this is going to do, this is going to drop those implants.
Yep.
It's not going to change your perception of what you're pulling in for information, but it's going to remove the emotional trigger.
Yep.
So you can step into it and do it with a more neutral approach, or maybe that's the way to say it.
Okay, good. No, we definitely need to do this then because you're right. And something that's been coming up often for me to say to my community, usually very passionately, is it's like stop feeding the matrix, like stop feeding this fear. And even as you were describing that, it's like that it's like we can't get out of our own way because we're trapped in that cycle because we've got those fear implants that are triggering the emotional response, and then we keep feeding that. So I think that that's yeah, a great next step. So let's go ahead and remove all fear programming and
Yeah,
implant.
and they are showing some of them in the brain, so you guys might feel little tingles there as I'm doing this. Okay, and here we go. Kanya mo kaya no. Shikaleri alieno koli aleri ariana kishkiri gani ara la marli ani gadi shiri gadi gana bari gani 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 shiri gadi 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 garo ari shikari ama baleri gani 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 shikari gani 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 shikari ar kala mani gani gani bari gani 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 shikari apa shikari ar bari gani shikari ratari ati shikari gani gani shikari gani bari gani gani shikari atari ritia Shkariot kachkarao maparioto kuriono senataria laro taria rietaria rotaria oria paria de kudishkiri kolomonia shkara no no ya namalene na yo no yamana na no na shkaro toya ku shkoria kapa balere kalariaro na koria mama balere kalere kaloriaro tu shkorio kolia mama balere na tatao to de chichi te kalere ka shkalaro toria na karia shkiri na kiniete roto koreba baleke de kaparia to de kaparia de kudishkiri de karia shkoria no karia de to de shkalere karia shoria taria na kalia kialoria shotokama pa kelerico shikoria ma paleria toriaria te shikiri kolere varia shikoria toyo no shikoria no toria ma palere kolere alaro tia shikalo no como pa pare koria no torio no toria no teria shikiria shikoria no koria ka tia tia ta ka karia na kalia shikoria na karia ki kelia shikoria na taria na ka arato koria. Thank you. They actually pulled out a representative, what I call the consciousness of fear. So all energy has consciousness to it, right? So it was interesting. This character showed up, and I'm like, okay, well, you got to go too. So we pulled out the consciousness that was creating the emotional reaction to the information.
It was so cool because I just saw this, like, it looked like a crowd of people, but I guess that was probably the people tuning into this. And then like just clearing it, kind of looked like there were things in like the bubble, like it was like those little fear traumas or fear triggers, and really pulling those out, so that the triggers aren't there. But I do want to remind people that it just because the trigger's removed doesn't mean that you have no free will or choice to
Correct.
re-trigger yourself. So fair warning, we're clearing the slate and now it's up to you to reprogram. Okay, we're deprogramming. Now it's up to you to reprogram. So that's just, I mean, it's a choice. It's always a choice where we want to feed our energy. Okay, beautiful. All right. Well, so let's go into the next one, which is activate our intuitive knowing and divine conscious connections for the highest good of all involved.
Cool. So with this particular one, I can't tell you how many times I get folks who want to have a closer connection with their spirit team, with their galactic team, with God, whatever these are, right? So think of this as the idea of kind of removing the static from that transmission, and instead of them being a million miles away, they're around the corner. So we're going to kind of bring that in, right? So this is also going to connect you to kind of the same thing I am a little bit. And they actually channeled this last night. So the divine consciousness stream of intelligence. This is going to strengthen your intuition and your unique discernment with the information you're receiving in your human experience. You'll be like, oh, okay, really? Is that what they're saying? So you're going to have more of the, I just get it kind of thing happening to you. Yeah, there we go. So here we go. Shikidang kamaya kiyakiyato, kolama pakiyata. Kiria lele nia shikia kinia no koyana yana yana elaria rorio. Mamala kaleria kileria tileleria ria 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 shirotu. Kolia mamalaria nianania karotu. Skalaria takaleria tikileria titia kalia tia. Kalaria nakalo dia kama papaka. Kalia latia netaya na anatia. Kelele skalere kelia nama ya lao ni nana. Kalalia lele olia nakaria riati. Shikalara korea mama pakilele lala nana yo kole di kala adaro otoria ki. Kilero korio no kodia nakaria kilara otoshi kapa pakieto ko. Shukodo yo no kamama mayana no kalaro ati alo ati shukuria gabalaria nakaria ninja shukuria no kodia dia. Shikaria tidi niti de tata varia kodia bayana tata chikidia to kushkoro to kodia dan papa yotori ki. Shiki tiki shikidia shikotori mariko shoto ta papa ya no kapa ya no tata no shikidia shikaria rekaria rotaria nataria nataria shikori kare mariko shikidia rekaria manio shikaria nandana rotaria nataria ora mama baleria ni di rotoria shikoria kileria riaria rotoria karia kalaure ki no shikorio to kapa yite tata to ya papa ya ta do tikia ta karia kalera kala korea to shikido karia rapa pakare ni tio to kuria to kalaria ta to shaka ama pakia kia to ya karia shakali lele lokolia kana mama paki kilele lele ta shaleria la la malele la manana no malele ria riarti tu chokolia la malele no ya na manala no ni andite shakaria tikeleria shakaroto no ni mabaka. Cool, there we go. That was fun. That was really fun. They kind of like added more information to your field so you could pick up a little more awareness of what's happening around you. So that was neat.
Love that. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, I felt all the tingles right here and right here.
And oh yeah, they really hit the third eye hard, by the way,
Yeah, I felt that.
and the heart, and the heart.
Beautiful. Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Ken and the collective. Let's move on to the next one. So activate the parts of our dormant light codes and DNA that we can access here today for the highest good of all involved. So divine DNA activation.
Yeah. So this is interesting. This came through a couple weeks ago, right? And the human is evolving. I mean, physically evolve. We are literally in the middle of our own evolution, right? And it's not just our it's our soul, and it's all the ETs participating in this amazing thing with us, right? But the divine's like, listen, don't ever forget you're a human. And that's what this is about. This is about turning on that hidden human DNA. We're also busy going with, this amazing collective and that amazing collective, but we're not going to forget about us. And this is for us, right? So with that being said, they're also going to work on the chromosomes. They're going to align the chromosomes frequency to match the new DNA that's coming online right now. So yeah, I'm ready when you are.
Perfect. Let's go.
Shkadiatianoka. Shiliariga Maleriga Shkiliari Tishkiri Scalaro, Mamma Valero, and Edo Dariani Nichkiri and Godigonia, Mamma to Scalara Mabaleria, Juscurian Coliana Nayar, Shakaro, Shkara, Kari, Ritia, Shkaro, Cororo, Toria, Carari, Kiliri, Rieti, Shkalacaria, Carori, Arro, Shkiri Regaro to Scuriana Dari, nialo na mamlaya ni sharatoria shuriatoria papariaro atakaria tekiliri de disilia shkuroto kutikili kataria takatakidia shkriargo shkuria shkalara na tate notoria mapalede que notoria andaka asha shariato corearia tianiani at shkariati rioria mapapalaria riataria te spene Shikarian Brigadier, Shikaria no Mambliari and Shikarian Korea, Shilia Nadare, Sharia Takaria, Tiana Tachiria Toko, Sharia Papakaria Tati, no Totia Patica. Chromosomes next, please. They're adjusting your human blueprint. With the new codes. And the Paya Papa, bring him in. Overlay. Shriaro poria kilia kare aka koka papakaria kia shitaka shala o a tietaka. Okay, that's done. That was intense. That was
Wow,
intense for me.
that was intense. Like at first I saw like a being working on the DNA, like almost like opening it up and spreading it
Mm-hmm.
out and like
Yeah.
almost like zooming in on it, right? And it's funny because I have seen other beings work on DNA that way. Like it's almost like you can like bring out the DNA hologram and like open it up and like,
That's
configure it.
exactly what I'm seeing on my side.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
So
then I
cool.
saw the light from the DNA, the divine coming down and actually expanding it.
Yeah, yeah, expanding it exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Opening it up. Yeah, cool.
yeah, yeah.
Cool. It helps that, we're seeing the same things. Okay, great. Well, let's move on to sort of another human thing. Speaking of removing blocks, is clearing any and all financial abundance blocks. Some of the most powerful, gifted individuals I know that have so much to offer this world are just suffering financially. And of course, if we're stuck in survival, we can never get ahead in all of our other pursuits and our ways and our missions. So I do think that this financial abundance piece is so key. And I think just like we've mentioned before, right? I mean, you can remove it, your collective can remove it, but it's up to the individual to do something with that clarity now, to really, to let go of the fears and take some risks and believe in yourself. So is there anything else you wanted to mention about the
There's a
collective?
lot of things I want to mention on this topic. So I've done thousands and thousands of sessions, and there's nobody who doesn't want more abundance. And I want to define abundance as life resources, not just a dollar sign.
Yeah.
It's whatever those things you need. Now, here's the thing. Everyone wants to manifest. Everyone manifests. Everyone's got, the full moon thing or whatever's happening. I don't know these things. Like, I don't know the processes out there. But what they're failing to do is to remove the resistance before they pull in. Now, the resistance
Mhm.
shows up in the root, shows up in the sacral, shows up in the heart, and it shows up in trapped emotions in the body. So you want to pull in these high frequencies, we got to remove those lower frequencies. So that's the first. This is going to be a little longer one. So that's the first thing. And this is the one where you're going to probably find yourself slightly emotional because the team is going to pull out so much out of you right now. Now, once we do that, then we're going to go, and there's 3 stages after that. We're going to remove the blockages. So think of a warehouse. You got blocks in the warehouse, right? In life, we can't get through these blocks. We don't know why. So the blockages are going to be gone. And then the next phase is what I call resistance. So it's like mud. You're eventually going to get through it. We're going to remove the resistance. And then we're going to call in what they tell me is the energy of creation. We're all creators. Period. So we're going to pull in that so you can begin creating. They're being funny right now. They're like, we're just going to grease everything for you. It's all right.
Awesome.
So yeah. So you're gonna find this showing up in your life really, really quick. So, all right. So this is gonna be a little longer, folks. Here we go. Drop in. We're gonna start. I'll call it out as I'm doing this, just so you know what's happening. We're gonna start by opening up the root chakra. Kilia kio noto ya nakapa paketa kata kata tiga na dea sheleria na rea puri shukuru torio no kapa baler kari ari kini shigiri ni kadaro ya mabalere korea kari ki shikalo kalana mamaria no torio no tera pade ke na rete rio to kari anda taya na tere rete karo ko shukuru no na manete shigiri ko papa ya papa pe ya papa shukuru korea kapa papa karo kapa paketa ko de kadari shi de kari ki kala kari no korea no taya no torio no tere anda chikiri korea mabaliaria shikaro torio kini shini show the hidden. Ka aki kan to release the hidden. Kala ko po tushkoreo kala man paparekaro ki de kanya tadina da de skiri no kare ko ni ko ni skiri ni kare ari korea to tepe to ti apapia to di skiri shkoreo kara papa ya nata de na kare aki shkaro koro korea ka papa ya to kare ma balere ni ta de nata to de bareki shkoreo to kutu kuch ka ap ko bugi kiti na ko ka shkiti ka ko ka kali ki phase 2. Show me what's left. Pull that out. Shikala oko. Kati alare anaya nayo no koryo kukuyati kilelelelelelele ata auto. Papakaria, expand the root and support. Shalakaria ki karua mapakoya. Gonna go into the sacral now. Shikalali rito no tayamakoya ka kieto toishoto. Shikatia Toliakia, Kolialalaya, Niamamoya, Koko, Yanala, Aria, Shilare, release, Shkalera, Kala, la 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 Kola, Mamaguria, no Kalero, Magiliria, Shkaro, Kamapacario, Toyo Chocodio, Shkalia, Capapaler, Calera, Calera, Shkalera, another Yadanda, Donoto, Yanata, Calar, Codera, Bariotoria, Natalia, Ario, no, Mamiata, Ario, Roto, Shkaria, they keep going, Shkaro, Curio, Repariar, Neta, Toto, Todia Parigatia, Shkaro, Curio, Kamama, Malare, Ari, Curio, Shkoro, Torio, Curio, Coria, Papa, Yati, Chicaria, supporting the body, release, Shkorio, Curio, show us the hidden, even from them. Release. Kishkaria Kalia Ariata Karia Karia support and close. Shaliaroto, Shakaria Riataria, Shakoria Mama Malaria Taria. We're going to move up to the heart now. Korimapa, open the heart chakra. Shikalikiata, Tekaria Karia, release. Come on. Aliamapakoria, begin. Shikaleria Naya Shikoria Rocabalio Aria Tiaco Scapa Poyoto de Yapapakidi Tiata Toto de Patiata Tadia Catata Tatodia Patata Barioto Scorio to Corio non Mama Briari Scorio non Yolaria Ka Shakario Corima Mamaleria Shiria Coria Mapaparioria Toria Coria Cariana Caria Mama Balaria Diaria Shicario Coria Rocaria Shkoria Mapaleria, and Malaria, the Mariano, the Nada, Daricaria, Doria, Shikaria, Calarica, Rotaria, Maparica, Netusia, Shkoria Mapadearo, Toria, Rieta, Caria, to Shkiria, Carabariatia, Riakia, Scaro, Toyo, Mamma Malaria, Rieto, Coria, Shikaria, Tialaro, Toria, Mapaparia. Okay, show us the heart trauma that's hidden. The old. Release. Corialia, Caria, Shikaria, Kiana, Caria, Paria, Kilia, Shikalia, Calaricaria, Moniconia, Nanagiria, Calaria, Area, Tiamamboyotu, Shukurio, Nokaya, Nania, Shikalia, Laria, Nachikaria, Ticare. Close and support the heart. Shulia, Paparia, Tario, Rota, beautiful. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the trapped emotions in the body. I'm going to start from the toes. We're going to go all the way up to the head. This won't take very long. Shikalere, Olema, Malere, Shigaria, Kariama, Balero, Kaleri, Aria, Repeated, Scurio, Kariama, no Chicken, Caria, Shikalia, Lele, no Kodima, Padia, Shuguru, Torio, Tiata, Caleri, Calero, Redo, Koriama, Padio, Caria, Carabarico, Shiria, Caparia, Tateta, Scurio, no Kodima, Balere, Coriama, Malaria, Netarian, Shiria, Calaria, Natalia, Scurio, Cariama, Nodonia, Shikaro, Torio, Rieta, Pariaki, Calari, and the Calare, Korea, the Cochcaria, Calobombayano, Namabaria, Shikorio, Notorio, Noshkari, Mapalero, Caria, Galaria, Shikorio, no Korea, Mapalaria, Noto, no Shakaria, Korea, Papakari, Shiata. Beautiful. Okay, now we're going to move on to what we're really here for, right? Is get rid of those blockages in your life resources. Nothing you need to do. Show me. And they're having me deal with the belief system, the self-limiting belief system. Hold tight. Shkalera kori ko dalbaria taria tere shkaria kalera kalenda shania mamalera korio to shkidia te karia tate te tu koriko dia papaya te dadio to dia de garia shkaria ko na pablia ko dia ria torio to shkudu shkoro no to na pablia shkaria ko shkaria de karia dia shkaria dia shkaria orga mabalaria noria naria ni shkuria paparia torio korio shkuria karia shkaria karia toshko dia. They want to know you are worth it. You are everything. You are everything. So now we're going to remove the resistance. Shkalia tielo kolere kariaria tiria nekaria nate chikuri tori apa paliati kitore kedoshkiria ta arioto shkorio noto yonoti nataria nataria chikuria ta apa pa aria tielo konia nakaria kolia noto yonoshkiria dentenia tekanete kichiria nakaria kalia noto yonoshkiria ta alia arioto shkoria no kalia mapalia na atia ni tichiria to koria nakaria oria to aya shkoria kiria. And the other messages are telling me they want you to know that you don't have to wait for this. It's already yours. No one's given it to you. It's yours. Recognize it's yours. Kopakaria kiria dakaria notoya. Okay, so now we're going to bring in the final piece, which is the energy of creation. Nothing you need to do. It's just a beautiful one. Shalearia mamaya laria, bring it in. Kilakaro kulianiatia laria lelia nuria mama malariuru. Shikalaria roria tienariaria tienia tequileria takari shioto. Shukolia mama malaria nia nakaria rieta karoto kuria. Kelere shikelia nataya nakaya ki kelele kuria nakalia negatiata. Kaliano koshikatia nakaria no kurio no tu no shikania papayania. Kaleria nadaria nadaria niete shilere kurio donia mama malaria tiri rotoko. Shuria mama malaria titia takaria. Kariare to Koreana nieto no niata Kaleria na ala aroria karakaria. Signed, sealed, and delivered, they say. All right, folks. That was a long one.
Wow, that was intense. I mean, I felt so many things, especially sacral root, probably where I sort of hold some of those limitations. And then right at the end, when you were bringing in that source frequency, it was like, it literally felt like a waterfall of just pure white light was like dumped in. And then there was like work on integrating the light. And it felt like it was this like source energy, which we all have access to,
Yeah.
but it felt like it was almost being tethered to like every cell of the body. It was almost it looked like a reigniter or like you're like re-energizing the cellular structure of the body with infinity because that's what source is, right?
Yeah. So all these, so for me, for the last piece, right?
Hmm.
They will show orbs everywhere, and
Mm.
those orbs will just gently move around and then move into the heart chakra.
Hmm.
And this is the energy of creation. But the message they had is like, listen, stop begging, so to speak. And I don't want to use that word, the wrong word.
Yeah.
It's already yours.
Yeah.
It's already yours. Step into that authenticity, that truth, and it happens.
Hmm. Yeah, I think a big part of it is the belief, right? Is the belief that limits us and filters us from what we want and what we feel like we deserve. So, and I think you just removed so much of that belief, that limitation, that stagnation. So thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got one more, which is recently there's been a really big collective timeline shift. And I think a lot of us are just sort of scrambling, like we're really in between big choices in our life. We're in between sort of multiple different timelines, and it can be very overwhelming and even confusing. So I think really just to sort of close this off is to integrate sort of the new timeline shift, the highest frequency to harmonize our minds, bodies, and souls.
Yep. So what they're showing me as you're talking is if you want to use the lines, if you will, they're vibrating. There's a little bit of what I call harmonic distortion. You know, which way am I going? Which do I choose? And we find ourselves kind of bouncing back and forth. So what's going to happen here is we're going to collapse. They're going to collapse. Your team's going to collapse. However you want to say these, right? Your team is actually going to work with you to determine what is the highest timeline for your alignment. But they're also adding in coding to make this easier going forward. All right, so you don't have this harmonic distortion when you have these big shifts in your life or the collective. You'll be able to say, oh, well, that's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. We're going to make it a lot easier and smoother for you at this point forward. Okay?
Go.
Shkoduya da ka mapakita ka tikidishkuduko de apaka kidishkuru to kunutu. Mapapo toto akapapakiti ko to katakara kadikaro ko to katikilira tikiriato ko to kishkadikate to kapakaro ko kuria kapapakini kanaka ako no to kapapakiliria taka o to chukudo kamaroto ko to kati atatay ata toto etaka papakiti katakapakito kadati atakapako chukudi atakaria kari tori kinikana koria tinikde. They're weaving in the ability to discern which timeline is most appropriate for you. Katakato ko chukudi kamankinareta ka ako to kadimatinik Kato ko di sikilira ka ari kaya kiti ko do kaliri kirita ko de papakalera ari ti kariatiri to kariat kaliri ko de apa pa yete ke kariota to de kapariete de tata ko de apa yo sikilira ke apa ko sikilira de kamari ko de ri sikilira ma malaria ta ko chok ko poko kata kishara shalaro to ri natariare ata karianaka. So that was a quick one. That was interesting. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. Sorry, some of these go really, really quick.
Yeah.
So they did collapse those, and it's like, and then what they were telling me while I was doing that is that this distortion that I was just referring to is actually impacting all of us. Because we sit here and we bounce back and forth, and it keeps us from, as a collective or individually, from really accelerating forward fast as possible. So this, to them, they're pleased that this was asked for. Just, I wanted to share that.
Good. Um, yeah, I mean, I definitely saw the timelines collapsing and merging, and then it was cool. Like I saw this sort of like, I guess I could call it like a thread that felt like it was weaving through the timeline, and the thread was connecting us to our higher self, which is, I think, the discernment piece of, yes, this still brings me the most amount of joy. Yes, this still feels like the highest possible timeline, which is good. Like I think just it almost feels like a floater in the ocean. Like it is like your life raft, is having that connection to the higher self and like being able to connect and discern, especially
Mhm.
timelines at this time. So all of that was absolutely incredible. As always, Ken, huge thank you to you and your team. Talk to us a little bit about the events that you do, and also like I know you've got your stuff in the background, but where can
Yeah.
people find you and get that support from you either personally or in a group setting?
Absolutely. So thank you. So kenlloydofficial.com. On there, you're going to find a catalog. So every week I release new things, little 5-minute light language like codes to address specific topics, right? And the whole range is there. You can check that out, right? It's pretty cool stuff. But every Wednesday I do events. This next Wednesday I'm doing a cortisol rebalance and reset, right? So the nervous system. And again, folks, I work on energy. I don't work in the body. And it's the energy that I'm shifting that allows these things to show up in the physical. And every Wednesday something new. But the really big thing here coming up this week, May 22nd, is the Soul Expansion event. Now this is really neat in the idea that the team is going to bring in, I want to change those words a little bit, your multidimensional selves. It's not them bringing in. It's like literally, think of lightning in the sky, that heat lightning, where it just kind of goes out and out and out, all those multidimensional selves. They're going to connect those, right? They're also going to work on your 24th chromosome, which is the new human, activating that, right? And then also tuning in the light body. They're going to work on your team. As we grow and expand, our team needs to grow and expand. So there's going to be some elections held. I'm being funny because I kind of enjoy my humor a little bit. Your team will bring in the new support that you need for your purpose, for your mission, for your highest thing. So it's a 2-hour event. It's going to be intense. No different than this. Nothing you have to do other than just show up and take it, so to speak, right?
Love it.
Yeah. Yeah, and then on June 6th, we're doing a big trauma event. So we just did a big trauma release, right? But there's more deeper integration work with the Library of Creation, which is a whole other topic for another day. But the Library of Creation, you're going to go in there and we're going to start removing more of that pinpoint precision trauma that affects every area of your life, right? Again, as we do this, we can then move forward in our life. So again, to our event. And then June 27th is the abundance event. So literally like we just did. We got rid of that heavy sandbag and the hot air balloon, right? And now we want to bring in the life stuff. So let's get rid of the big trauma, and then we're going to move into the abundance event, which will work on, again, all aspects of your life. 2 hours, right? And the money codes, the money imprints, the patterns of lack, the ability to receive. How many people have a hard time receiving? Anyways, so I never repeat anything.
Mm.
Everything is new and new and new as they pull it in. So, anyways, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you so much, Ken, and the collective. Please go to his website, check out his socials, and just see what he's doing because I really feel like you are such a light to this world. And I'm so grateful to have come across your path and able to have you here and support my community and, continue to support the world because you're anchoring in those higher frequencies. And I think we're all so grateful for you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing rest of your day. Make sure you drink lots of water, have lots of rest, and allow the integration to take place because it will take some time. And go check out Ken's website for all of his amazing events coming up. Bye for now.